In my last video, I talked about the civil service. I talked about the meaning of the civil service, and I said that the civil service is a branch, like it is a department of the executive arm of government that is responsible for the execution and the implementation of governmental policies. They bring the plans of the government into reality. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about the characteristics of the civil service. When I say the characteristics of the civil service, I mean the feature, that the things you can see, the elements upon which the civil service is established. Now let's start. The first characteristic that I'll be talking about today is merit system. When I say merit system, I'm talking about the qualifications, which means that employment and recruitment into the civil service is based on merit. It is based on qualification. The reason is that the civil service is an institution that needs to be effective and efficient in all they do. So they cannot go and bring in some workers that know nothing about what they are there to do. So they have to employ people based on their qualifications, based on merit, not like favoring some people like, oh, because it's from my tribe or from my ethnic group. No. The first characteristic is just all about what? It's all about merit system. They bring in people, they employ and recruit people based on merit. That is why in most countries, when the civil service, when they're trying to bring people, recruit people, employ people into the civil service, they write examinations. Yes, in some countries, even in Nigeria, they do that. Now let's go to the second characteristics. Now the second characteristic is permanence. Permanence. When we say permanence, it means something that is permanent, that it never changes, which means it is always there. Now, the civil service is an institution that is permanent. It does not change with government. It does not change with anything. The government can change. Political parties, they come into power and they leave. They come into power and they leave. But the civil service is a permanent structure. It's a permanent institution that will never change. Maybe a political party is in power today, they will not change with that political party. When that political party comes into power, the civil service will always be there. They work with every political party that comes into place. That is the second one, permanence. They don't change. As well as the civil service, the civil servants too, that the workers, they don't change also because they enjoy a permanent tenure of office. They are always there. That is that about permanence. Now let's go to the third characteristic, which is impartiality. Now, when we talk about impartiality, the civil servants, they are expected to be fair and just to any political party that is in town. Any political party that is in power, that is in power, controlling the country, any political party that is exercising power, they must be fair to everyone. As the government changes, at every transition of government from one political party to another political party, the civil servants, they must work with them well. They must be fair in their dealings and they must be just in everything that they do. That is impartiality. The fourth characteristic of the civil service, the fourth characteristic is neutrality. Now, as the name implies, neutrality, from the word neutral. Now, what does it mean to be neutral? Like just not supporting one, not supporting the other, just being at the middle. Neutral. That's neutrality. So, civil servants are expected not to engage themselves in partisan politics, which means even if they want to engage themselves in party politics, belonging to political parties, they must resign from their appointment first before they can do that. The reason is that when they belong to political parties, they will kind of favor the political party to which they belong and not favor some other political parties, which means that if the political party that did not belong, if that political party is not in power, they may not favor the political party that is in power. And when their own political party gets there, they will start favoring them. And that will reduce the efficiency and the effectiveness of the civil service. That is why they should be neutral and not engaging themselves in partisan politics. Now, the fifth characteristic is anonymity. Now, from the word anonymity, it means when a particular thing is not known, when something is not known, that means that every civil servant has no right to speak to the press or to speak to the public concerning their ministry unless the minister gives them the directive to do that. Which means when you ask a civil servant anything that concerns his or her ministry, that civil servant has no right to tell you anything about the ministry unless the person is being given the directive by the minister to say something about the ministry to which that person belongs. And then I'll give you the last characteristic, which is expertise. Now, when we say the word expertise, we've removed the is. We have experts, like an expert in a particular, like a professional in a particular field. Now, the civil service are always producing something, and what is that? That is called what? Experts. which means we have experts in their field of administration, and that's because they have worked in that particular field for so long. Their long years of appointments, they've seen a lot and they've done a lot. In fact, sometimes they even send some civil servants, they send them to go and study more, and then they come back to use that wisdom, that understanding and the knowledge that they have acquired. They will start to put it into use under that ministry which they belong. That is expertise. They produce experts, professionals in their field of administration. Now, these are the main characteristics of the civil service. In my next video, I'll be talking about the structure of the civil service. Thank you.